Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here, welcome back to my channel. So on tonight's video I thought I'd quickly try and demonstrate this little bow saw being used as a bow for making a friction fire. Stay tuned. Okay, I do remember showing this little hack or trick a good few years ago now, and basically we've got ourselves, a quick release bow saw. You can detach the blade quite quickly. Standard sort of stuff, nothing flash or fancy, leaving you with the empty frame. So basically, just quickly what I've done, nothing flash or fancy, I've drilled above the tensioning mechanism a small hole there, about 1/4 of an inch, just over, and on the bottom, on the tip end rather, where the rivet goes through, just behind that, the same size hole again. And obviously that then allows me to have a wrap of paracord tied off at one end, which I can undo and tie to the opposite end, basically making a bow which I can use as part of a bow drill friction fire set. So just quickly, I've not actually got it tied on at the moment, but I will do for the later on in the video. So obviously that will just now go through that hole and tie out as such. So I've now got a bow that I can use for a friction fire. But as you can see, it's only a small bow. So the point I'm trying to make with some of this video is we see him at the moment have a, let me pan you up here a little ways. We seem to be going through this phase of, if it's not massive, it's no good. Whether that be a knife, let's carry big ass knives, or ferrocerium rods. If they're not 16 feet long and a foot in diameter, then they're no good. And your bow drill must be massive, and excuse me, everything's got to be huge to be effective. Well, for me, I disagree. Personally, I think we're losing, by doing that, the essence of what this whole bushcraft thing is about. For me, it means carrying lots of knowledge and carrying minimal equipment, which means you can move further and faster because you're carrying less equipment, therefore you're lighter. So I won't ramble on too much. Again, this is all just my opinion, so I'm sorry if I offend anybody with this. So I've gone ahead and made myself a small hearth board. I've been practicing my bow drill today. Small hearth board, that's a chopped piece of pine, a split log that I've cut the centre out of. As you can see there, just rough assed it, and I've been doing a couple of bow drills. I've just burnt this one in because I'm going to be using that one to demonstrate, hopefully, the bow saw being used as a bow drill fire set. The spindle is harder wood because, in my opinion, you should have a soft hearth board and a hard spindle, hence the name bow drill. We're drilling into it to create the dust which creates the ember, etc. Can't remember if this is cherry or silver birch, something like that, something a bit harder than pine. The reason I've done it this long, purely at the moment I've got a bit of a twinge in my back, to be honest, and it stops me from stooping over as far. However, I could have done this half size, and I have done it before. I've got one up here somewhere which works perfectly well. So again, it doesn't have to be massive to be effective. Now I've made all this set using this knife. This is the Mora Eldris. I've had this over a year now. My good lady Mrs. Mad Dog's brought me this. I have done some modifications. I will show what I've done in another video regarding the Eldris. In my opinion, a fantastic little knife. Excuse me. Highly recommend that one. That's the Eldris. So I've made this complete bow drill set, with the exception of this fat wood bearing block, which I've had for years and years, as you can see. That's the only bit of this kit I've not carved, obviously, other than the actual saw frame, which I'm just showing because it's a good little hack or trick to remember. It's always good, in my opinion, to have a tool that has multiple uses, and this certainly does by doing that. I mean, a saw is perfectly adaptable by itself anyway in the nature of what it can do for us, but to actually use it as a bow drill friction fire tool as well, for me is win-win. For a small amount of modification, that's worth doing in my opinion. I've had this one for many years. As you can see, even the spare blades have gone rusty. I do keep these in my breakdown just in case kit in my truck, in a rucksack in there. Anyway, so I'm going to try and demonstrate a quick friction fire using this kit because I wanted the extra practice. It's something I do believe we should all keep practicing, otherwise, you know, your skills are perishable. Like any skill, you need to practice them to be efficient at them. So I just don't want people to be too hung up on massive is best. For bushcraft and camping, you can get away with whatever you want to do. Survival or emergency use, big isn't always best. You know, it's small and dangerous, you know, sometimes is the way to go. You know, I'm not going to bang on too much about that. You know, why does an infantryman carry a relatively small caliber rifle? Like over in the UK, we have obviously the SA-80, or the modern equivalent 5.56 SA-80. It's only a small rifle, bullpup rifle. Why don't we give him an 88mm howitzer or 105mm howitzer to carry through the field? Because it's bloody heavy. You need a team to support that. He's never going to carry that for very far, even if he can. If he's Superman, he's not going to carry it for far and for very long, so it's not going to be effective. The same with the ferro rods, the knives. You know, it's great to have a massive ferro rod. I've recently been very lucky in getting one from 4071 Nathan as a gift from Redneck Renegade, and I'll treasure that. I really will. It's something I've always wanted. But if I was going on a camping or hiking expedition, I wouldn't carry it in my cargo pocket, because that thing weighs over a pound. You know, it's like having half a bag of sugar in your cargo pocket, and it's a beautiful thing. The craftsmanship's fantastic, great to own, and if I'm going to use it, it'll be around here at home or on a holiday type of thing. Not something I will carry in the field per se, because it serves one purpose and it's too big for that one purpose. Everything, you know, in moderation, for the right reasons, in my opinion. So no one waffling on, but this for me is an important subject. I think we can all get carried away in this big is best mentality, and it isn't always. It really isn't. Horses for courses, you know. Anyway, I'm going to take this kit that I've thrown together now, get outside because I'm sweating in here again in the shed. What we've got at the moment, just over, what are we? Just over 80. It has cooled down a little ways actually, just over 80 there. So it's quite warm in here. I'm going to go outside, see if I can get an ember, if not a fire, from this little kit. And like I say, size doesn't always matter when it comes to bushcraft and camping. You know, don't forget that, guys and lasses. For me, it's about knowledge, experience and practice. More so than having the best of everything and the biggest of everything when it comes to kit. I'd rather have a small knife, a small set that I know how to use and I can use in most conditions, rather than a massive knife, a massive ferro rod, a massive saw, but don't know how to put all that together to make an effective fire. All the gear and no idea. So I'll leave it at that. We'll jump outside now and we'll bang hopefully a friction fire out, and stay with me and we'll see how we go. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to also point this out to you guys and lasses, that underneath my hearthboard I'm going to be using some of my Mad Dog charred jute and some of my Mad Dog netting, basically in the hope that when we get a coal, if we get a coal, that lands in the charred material, which hopefully then will spread, giving me an extended coal, therefore more heat and a better chance of blowing this to flame. Just thought I'd explain quickly why I'm doing it this way, and that, like I say, will sit under my hearthboard to catch any potential embers. Okay, so we're outside. It is quite windy today, and you know, I ain't going to lie to you, it is more hard work with the shorter stroke bow, but we'll give it a shot. So I'll just pan you down here to the kit, to the little bow drill set, and we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Again, all of this kit I made, with the exception of the bearing block, with my Mora Eldris, which I've had over a year now. Great little knife in my opinion. I'll do a full review on that sometime in the not so distant future. But for now, let's just crack on with this. See what happens. Maybe a little bit on the slack side, but we'll give it a go. Okay. Yep, we're in camera shot. Yeah, just. Okay. Nice and easy to start with. We just want to build up a bed of dust to start with, and then as we increase speed and friction and pressure, hopefully we'll ignite that dust into an ember as we go. So a bit of an unorthodox form or style, you might say, but let's see if we can get it to work. Build a little bit more speed up now. Pressure. And do we have a coal? It's looking hopeful. Oh, crikey me, I'm unfit. Okay. Don't need to rush this. Give the coal and the ember time to, you know, develop. And give yourself a breather, especially when you're old and fat and unfit like me. Yeah, we're getting it. So hopefully now, let me just bring you up here a little ways. Do excuse me. So hopefully now that coal will spread across into the charred netting, which gives us a better fighting chance of blowing this to flame. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Yowzer. See, we have got flame. Get that in my fire pit. Wowzer. So there we go. We can actually get a coal, which we can blow to flame with a reasonably small size kit. It doesn't have to be massive. And this is part of my point of doing this video, that, you know, we're all wrapped up in this massive ferro rods, massive knives, massive saws. It doesn't have to be. With a little bit of practice, or a lot of practice, most tasks can be done with smaller equipment. You know, it really can. So I've made all this bow drill set, which is pretty much cargo pocket size. You can get it smaller than this. I could have halved that. The only reason I did it that length is because I'm struggling with a bad back, believe it or not, at the moment, so I didn't want to be stooping over too much. Little fat wood block. That's the only thing I haven't made with this little Mora Eldris. Like I say, I'm going to be doing a proper review of this later on. Stay tuned for that. So that concludes this little video on how to use a bow saw to produce a bow drill fire. Thank you all very much for watching, as always. I hope you find some of these little tips, tricks, pearls of wisdom, if you like, from an old man, useful if not entertaining. And thank you all very much for watching, as always. Don't forget, I will be doing another Mad Dog Mystery Box giveaway very soon. Stay tuned for that. I on a footnote, I'd just like to say all my comments that I'm getting off you guys and lasses, they're showing up in the form of email notification, but they're not all showing again on my channel. So if you don't get a reply from me, genuinely, it's not because I'm ignoring you or I'm being ignorant, anything like that. I'm not like that. It's genuinely because they're not showing up on my YouTube channel. So please forgive me for that again. It is what it is. So anyway, rambled on again way too long. Have a great weekend out there, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Mad Dog signing off. Yeah.